sitting here just thinking of whether I made the right decision or not. First of all, I'm a hot mess, so there's that. But secondly, I will not tolerate being chastised or undermined anywhere, regardless of the pay, regardless of the benefits, regardless of the title. And that's kind of the point I want to get into today. Sometimes jobs can be really fucking toxic, and your reaction is most important. And in my situation in particular, I decided to leave as I had just recently acquired that position. So I decided to leave because it was too soon for me to be getting so much anxiety from that job, to be feeling the cliquey, mean girl bullshit going on in that job, feeling like there was some type of vendetta against me, and somewhat talked down to. And it was just, personally, it was a whole ass nightmare. Like, there's no other way to put it. There's no other way to say it, sugarcoat it. It is what it is. We're gonna call it a spade, what a spade is, and that's it. So this job is actually, I wonder if you hear my neighbor's bachata outside. Anyways, I'm in Jersey. So this is a big corporation. Like, up here, they are known. And I decided to apply for work because I'm going crazy at home since the pandemic. You know, they gave me the vaccination and all that good stuff. But that was the only real benefit there, okay? I don't have anything against you if you didn't get vaccinated. Whatever tickles your pickle, whatever floats your boat, like, do you, boo. I don't care. Personally, I got it. I have 2 high-risk people in my life, including my son, who is a cancer survivor, 3.5 years, and it's ongoing follow-up treatments. And my significant other, and he has breathing, like, asthma issues. But that's a whole nother story. Back to the toxicity of these girls. It was like a mean girl clique. And in that sense, I mean, like, they would start drama, start rumors about me, and they didn't even know me. Like, what the fuck? Okay, perfect example. We were supposed to go to a whole other work site to check the computers or something with the printer. Something wasn't working, right? I am knowledgeable and savvy IT wise, so, you know. Anyways, I went, my coworker, which was my boss, but not under the other boss, which is the director, which is the head of everybody in my department. He's my boss in IT. So I rode in the car with him thinking nothing of it. Like, he didn't get fresh. He wasn't disrespectful. It's not like he was, like, failing up on me or nothing like that. Like, so we go. Normally, you know, we checked out everything, tried to find a solution. And in the midst of all this, when I get back, I believe it was the day after, I came in and the director pulls me to the side. And I'm like, hey, yeah, what's going on? You know, you called me down. And she's like, yeah, I just want to let you know that you riding with, let's call him Steve for safety reasons and all that, privacy reasons. So yeah, you and Steve went to this location and you're not supposed to go with him because he has a wife and she's really jealous. And, you know, there's a lot of women who work here, and, well, you know how it is. They're all very gossipy. So in my head, I'm like, excuse me, ma'am. Like, okay, first of all, if you were to see this guy and you were to see me and you were to see my dude, like my type, you would see that this is a ridiculous kind of sexual harassment type accusation that was going on. And I'm like, ma'am, I have somebody. Like, I would never want anyone to think that this is anything other than work associated. So she ends up, whatever, okay, we'll just, you know, turn him down, blah, blah, blah. And in my head, I'm like, okay, but are you gonna tell him something? Like, why do I have to be the Grim Reaper if he's been working here forever? Like, all y'all say, like, he's an OG here. Why don't you tell him that's your responsibility as a director? Anyways. And then he acted oblivious, like nobody ever pulled him to the side to tell him anything. You know, he kept inviting me. That's another thing. He kept inviting me to go to these work sites, and I would always have to make excuses and brush him off. Like, wow, they really didn't tell him shit. Like, so it's on me. I'm supposed to be the bad guy to him. And then, you know, turns out that this other girl in my office, okay, she ended up like gossiping this to him, to the director. I recently found that out shortly before I left. I was there for about 4 months, and it was just that a lot of drama between the women there, and it was like a mostly women-run environment. Very catty, very like, it was just, for me, I don't know, because I worked at the police department and I never felt that much aggressiveness and it not go unaddressed. Like, the police department, like, we had meetings where people would air out their grievances and vent and speak of the issues at hand and somewhat confrontal, as to where here they were like a little more like, oh, and the director for the employee appreciation, she says it in front of the CEO, yeah, I got gift cards for everybody. Which is BS because I never saw it. She said that in front of the lady. She probably pocketed it, gave it out to her family, God knows what. Okay. And plus she gets a lot of company card orders to her house, which I find a little weird. Anyways, none of my business. Yeah, I just couldn't. It was like this, when you get this anxiety when you're going into work and you feel the, oh my God, like that dread, but not that existential dread, more like the dread like, oh, I just hope no bullshit comes at me today. Like, I hope I don't get caught up in no drama. Like, I just want to have a peaceful day. I don't want to be accused. I don't want this guy to invite me anywhere if it's not with a third person, like the director told me, because I would probably get my ass fired. You know, it was just like a lot of like weight on my shoulders. And plus, I would go home, complain to my family. They started kind of acting like, you're always complaining about your job and this and this and that. And it was like my whole demeanor was just very like miserable. And I knew that that had to go. I refused to be that way. I've worked really hard to get to where I am now in my life, to have this be my main complaint of life for the next God knows how many years. So I knew I had to drop it because I know my worth. And there'd be times when I would try to speak to her, the director, on something, and she'd be like, yeah, make it quick because I have lunch. And I'm just like, whoa. Like, I barely ever talk to you. Hi, how are you? Remember me? The one that the co-worker here in my office told you a rumor about this guy. So there was already like, I was already feeling some type of way because she had already pulled me to the side for that. So I felt like there was some type of bias already. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be complaining about this job for the next 4 or 5 years, miserable about my life. And no, we're not doing that. Nope. Nope. So what did I do? I left. How did I leave, do you ask? Like, I straight no call, no showed. Which is kind of crazy. That's like really crazy. First of all, I've never left a job like that. Okay, I'm gonna just tell you right now, never ever ever have I ever. And I've stuck out with jobs that I've had for years actually, but this one in particular, just the toxicity. And then 2020, I guess, in 2021, it was just like, it was too much getting back into the workforce, and that's the force of work that I'm forced to work with. Like, no, we're not doing that. I could do better. I'll take less money to be treated and to feel better about going to work. I don't give a damn about how much they fucking pay. As long as I can make my part of the bills, you know? But I just left. I don't know if that's a good idea. I'll keep you guys posted on that. I really hope it is. But I feel like it is. And I've never felt so strongly about that. And yeah, I would like to know if anybody here who's watching has ever been through anything like that. Share your stories below. I would love to hear what happened after, you know, the aftermath. Did it go great? Did it not go so good? Was it a horrible decision? Was it a great decision? I need to know. Inquiring minds like mine have to know these things. Okay, so comment, like, subscribe. Check y'all out in the next one.